Hello, everybody. How are you doing on this fine Sunday evening? And yes, we lost badly, but it's still a fine Sunday evening. I mean, come on, you had a night. I mean, you had to have a good Sunday, right? You got to have some family time and enjoy your time and all that stuff. Can't be all bad. So let's have some fun tonight. Let's talk some Inter Miami, talk some other things. I mean, I'm dressed a little differently tonight, but we'll get into that in just a minute. Everybody's first, as usual, most of the time, I don't do this by myself. Everybody say hi to everybody's favorite uncle, Uncle Ed. How you doing tonight, Ed?
Peter Brown, how's it going, man? Hope you can hear me good. Not
Yeah.
just another disappointing result for Inter Miami. I saw you kind of became famous. Somebody put you on. Yeah, they used our video for the construction. So they I forgot who they were, but we should probably mention them. And
Morning
yeah, they
morning kick around. That's Jason Davis is he's I knew him mainly from he does some Sirius XM radio shows. And so he's got a YouTube channel that he does like 3 shows a week in the morning. And I watch it once in a while. I like the fact that they don't necessarily only cover MLS. They do a lot on USL and things like that. So I find that interesting. And yeah, they don't know who we are really because they're like, yeah, this guy, the some guy, and but they
they they,
used our
they thought it
video.
was only you. Yeah.
Well, I'm the only one in the video, so they did no research. They just found a
Yeah.
video, and
Yeah.
but they gave us credit and all that. So it was. I thought it was cool. Yeah, it was cool to see, my ugly mug on somebody else's YouTube channel. So that was good. So well, I don't know about you guys, but before we get into everything, I had a great weekend, Ed. I know it was a bad Saturday night. To be honest, my weekend could have been better. And this is how. I should instead so I had dinner with the family on Saturday and then came home, watched the game, right? But I had the opportunity. I could have gone to see the ladies at Fort Lauderdale United who beat up on Dallas Trinity 4-1. I could have had a good weekend by watching a team win, right? So, but but instead I chose to one have a good night with my family, have dinner, and then have a miserable night as far as watching football. With Inter Miami, but woke up today, went for a bike ride and all that stuff. So it's a good day. How was your weekend, Ed?
Good. Just hanging out with the family, not doing really much. But yeah, disappointed with Inter Miami, and I don't know if you want to get into it or
No, let's
should we?
let's let's I we're going to do things a little bit different tonight just because I think once we go down the Inter Miami path, we end up in a rabbit hole of despair in some in some ways, and we could probably go on about that for a while. Let's start out tonight and I'm wearing Fusion stuff for some reason. Why am I wearing Fusion stuff, Ed?
Oh,
And this
Peter
part
Brown.
is sad as well. And
Yeah.
but let's not act like he died. So Ray Hudson, legendary player, coach, and even more so commentator, decided to finally hang up his microphone and call it a career and retired at the age of 70. He was doing stuff for CBS and then also had a Sirius XM um, channel, so or a show. So he was talking football there. But for us, I mean, I don't know about you, Ed. I think you probably got to know him through the Miami Fusion. Am I right?
It's true. I mean, you've had more of a history with him, but yeah, I remember one time I yelled at one of the Fusion players right behind the bench, and he looked back at me like, like I murder or something. He
Yeah.
just gave me the neat that I just sat back down and said nothing.
Yeah, no.
um,
So my time goes back to I saw him play. So I mean, I grew up down here. I know
yeah,
you were in LA at the time. I grew up down here. I grew up watching Rocky Ray Hudson play. And he was fiery on the field. I mean, I remember him, especially at the tail end of his career, yelling at all the players and getting frustrated sometimes because this might have been the the later years of the Fort Lauderdale Strikers. But I mean, I saw him. I actually he has one tarnish on his record as far as I'm concerned. And if we ever get to talk to him again, because we've interviewed him a couple times,
I
uh,
know what you're talking about.
he played one season, and I don't know if we ever asked him this. We may have asked him this, uh, but he played one season for the Tampa Bay Rowdies, and that had to hurt. That had to hurt. That um, but
It was
other
a
than that,
paycheck.
he was
He
he was
saw it as a paycheck.
yeah. Other than that, he was South Florida gold. I mean, would often call Fort Lauderdale the Venice of Florida. I think was his terminology, something like that. But he was great, and when we interviewed him several times in the past. I would love to get my hands on some of those interviews. It's kind of hard because they're in Blog Talk Radio, and I don't know how to get them. But they were classic. A lot of times, the best part of the interviewing Ray Hudson was before the interview, the unofficial stuff, right?
The stuff that we didn't record, yeah, those things were awesome. And we have talked to him throughout the ages, I guess you could say. Even Ricky back in the day, because we weren't able to get there, he was able to interview him for a little bit. And so I think we got the video of that. It might be in here somewhere where Ricky
Mm.
was asking a few questions.
Well, we have a couple of voicemails that people, and I figured that's why we would start talking about Ray Hudson, because we've got a couple voicemails from people that wanted to pay their respect. And again, I don't want when you say pay respect, it almost sounds like he died. He didn't die. He's still fine. He's okay. He's just
Alive and
retired.
kicking.
He's just
Yeah.
retired. So here let's go to a voicemail.
It's time for your voicemail.
Hello?
All right, and here we go. I got to figure out which buttons to push.
Hey, Peter and Uncle Ed and all the great fans out there. Shout out, it's Italia, One World, One Goal. Shout out to all of our regulars, Yankee Boy, always calling in, Eric, Thomas, the worldwide famous, well, Ed is the worldwide famous actually, and Bruno and all the great fans. Too many of you guys to name, but love hearing you guys every week. Just wanted to give a special shout out to the glorious, magisterial, one and only Ray Hudson. Was very tearful this week that he decided to retire. He's 70 now, hard to believe. That our wonderful old Fusion coach, our pub drinking, back in the day, Rocky, Fort Lauderdale Strikers legend, has retired. Hung up his boots, hung up his coaching, and now he's hung up his microphone. One of a kind, not even in a month of Sundays, which it is Sunday, would you ever be able to replace somebody like Ray Hudson on the call, paired with the wonderful Phil Shane. And then more recently, he was with Ray Cordero and Chris Whittingham and just amazing memories from him. And I just happened to listen to his 25 for 25 that he told a little bit of the story of how he went from being an announcer at the Fusion to where they said, hey, you know what? Why don't you coach? And then he formed an alliance really strong with Doug Hamilton, who's the general manager at the time, and created the most glorious team in MLS, the 2001 Supporters Shield winners. And then sadly we were contracted after that, but it was wonderful memories. We had glorious teams before, and I will have winning teams again. Fear not, everyone. I know that was a terrible game, and everyone's very concerned about the season, but, you know, you go into rebuild mode, and you depend on your academy, and you get a coach who really knows what he's doing, and assistant coaches that are amazing, and you build an incredible team. Like Ray Hudson said, that Fusion team was like capturing lightning in a bottle. Just got to try to do it twice. Okay, love you guys. Love the show. Peace out.
So she mentions that Fusion, team. Like, if you remember, he was in the studio commentating on the Miami Fusion. and he gets pulled out of the booth to coach something he had never done before, to my knowledge, at least, especially at that level. He may have coached somehow somewhere, but not at that level. And goes on to rally those guys. He had not necessarily, and this is, I would think, was proven. They were not, and this can lead into a little bit of our conversation later. But they were that 2001 team, Ed, was not the most skilled individual talent, right? They were good, but they were individually maybe not the best. Collectively, they were the best, right? And he knew how to get them to work together collectively. Maybe we could use him for Inter Miami, but and became a great team. And the reason I say they weren't individually as good is these players went on to other teams and didn't have the same kind of success that they had with the Fusion. So it just showed what he was able to do, bringing that to, and those players. And also,
I
one
was going
world,
to
one
say,
goal.
Peter. Uh-huh.
One
Go ahead.
second. One world, one goal said something about drinking a pint. I don't know if you know, this is a Fusion Cup, Ed. Look at that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's
That
hard to
looks really
see.
good.
This
Yeah,
is
I
a
can see
Fusion
it.
glass from 2001. It even has the year on it. It says 2001 right there.
Wow, that's a piece of history
I
right
don't
there in your
drink out of
hand.
it very often. I usually just have it sitting on a shelf, but I figured tonight I'd drink out of it.
Tonight, it's worth it. I was gonna say, just recently, Fernando Fiore, who's got now a new podcast he's doing, I think it's called Republic Football. He had Diego Serna, and Diego was saying how Ray Hudson basically let them do what they wanted. I mean, he put them in their positions, and he just let them do their thing. And he said that's what made that team what it was. Diego Serna was actually saying that he played as the number 5. Peter, can you believe that? Ended up playing as the number 9 and did really well. As a number 5, he scored a lot.
Yeah.
So they said, have you thought about playing as a forward? And he started doing it. And he was saying how that was magic, how Ray Hudson was such a great coach that let him do basically what he wanted, and that's why he flourished. And he said he was unable to repeat that with any other team after that, and he tried. He said, but it was just a thing of injuries,
Sure.
and of just bad timing, or he wasn't able to get in the right he didn't have the same mojo that he had with the Fusion, but he said that team was something else because Ray motivated them to get where they got.
Yeah, and we've had Jim Rooney, the captain, on this show a couple times in the past. A good friend of ours, and we could get him on again if we want to talk some. Right now, I think he's in Ireland, but to talk about it. But what you mentioned something about him not having the same success at other teams. He did go on to coach DC United, and we got a call from that area to talk about that.
Oh,
what's up, mi gente? It's your boy Yankee. I'm calling in this week not to talk about Inter Miami, not to talk about MLS. I'm going to follow in the footsteps of One World, One Goal, and I want to pay homage to the incredible Mr. Hudson. I really, really have so much enormous respect for everything he's given the game in this country. I have enormous respect for him as he transitioned from being a player to being a coach. And I will never forget, and I posted this on a few online social media spots, I'll never forget how he was coach at DC United, and he literally worked himself into a state of exhaustion. Nobody ever wants to see anybody work themselves that poorly to a situation where their health is just in jeopardy. But that level of dedication is just absolutely amazing. So as a DC United fan, as a fan of the sport in this country, I just thank him so much for the amazing, memorable moments, one of a kind, and nothing but mad love and mad respect. And last week I called and was frustrated with some things about the game. But one thing about this sport is it can bring you some beautiful moments and it can be really life inspiring. And Mr. Ray Hudson is just one of those figures. So mad love to y'all. Holla at you later, players.
All right, nice to hear from Yankee Boy up in the DC area. You know, he actually in that job he replaced another South Florida legend, Thomas Rongen. Thomas Rongen was the DC United coach, and Ray Hudson replaced him. So interesting how how the ties and how everything's interconnected and all that kind of stuff.
Another
So
player and coach and broadcaster also who we interviewed
oh yeah,
a few times.
yeah, and that's on this channel. You can find that on this channel. So all right, so you know, again, cheers to Ray Hudson and his career, you know, and good luck on your retirement. And, you know, as far as his retirement, hopefully it is.
This is a magisterial goal of the highest order.
Hopefully it's magisterial. All right, let's move on to some Inter Miami. Not as well. Oh, hang on. Let me change to an Inter Miami hat. We're got to put my Inter Miami hat on if we're talking Inter Miami, right?
It's the least you could do.
I'm not going to change the shirt because you guys don't want to see that. But
his six-pack is in the fridge, though.
It's in the fridge. It's not here. That's for sure. So, lots to talk about. I know a lot of you people in the chat probably don't even know Ray Hudson, or you only know him as a commentator. But I felt like it was appropriate, especially since we had a couple calls. Thought it was appropriate to give him a little love. But
a South Florida legend.
Yeah,
we had to do it. But yeah, so, Peter, this game.
Well, so, okay. Did you actually go into this game, Ed, thinking we were going to win?
I wasn't too sure we would, because, you know, a lot of players are missing. The depth that we have isn't what it used to be. Now we're just kind of, and especially in defense, I was worried, especially after seeing the lineup.
Yeah, I mean, defense. I don't think the defense is as. I mean, it's bad, but it's not as. You know, we've got defenders on the bench. There's other positions where we don't have anybody on the bench. So, but we have defenders on the bench. You know, you may not want to go to Ryan Saylor, but you could. You know, you may not want to go to Lujan, but Mascherano does quite a bit. So there were, I thought, some depth and defense. Maybe it's not good depth, but there's people there. At least there's bodies.
Yeah, and talk about bodies, man. One I'd like to get rid of, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry to call people out, but Aviles, man, what in the world is wrong with that kid?
With who?
Aviles.
Aviles, yeah. Just gets on the field and pretty much right away gets a yellow card. You know, dumb play. So Julio saying, what defense? So, yeah, all right. So I know we like to complain about the defense a lot, and I'm not saying you're wrong, but that is not the only problem, because a good offense, you know, can outperform the bad defense. And as of lately, we're struggling there as well. If it's not for Messi or sometimes a Suarez assist, there's no scoring. If they figure out how to shut Messi down, which they did, and it's been happening more and more, you know, there's a lot of problems on this team, a lot of gaps on this team, not just defense. And I'm not saying defense is good. Don't get me wrong. But we harp on it. That is the main problem. And I don't know if it's the main, it's one of many problems, I think. It's just, we've got, you know, a lot. Julio in saying Messi missing a penalty. That's just an unusual thing. Everybody misses from time to time. I'm not so mad about that. But
well, I am, Peter, because you know that should be a given goal.
It should be.
He didn't even look up. He did, you know, he tried to just chip the thing, and it totally backfired because that goalie obviously studied Messi, kind of figured he'd try to do something like that, and he just stood his ground, which was the smartest thing that he could do. He didn't jump to any side. he just waited, and
And
that's
he easily
usually
moved to the side. He
and
easily moved.
What Messi usually does is waits for the goalkeeper to commit,
Right.
and then in this one he screwed up because the coach the I'm sorry, the goalkeeper, he just knew to wait, and he did the right thing.
Yeah. Yeah. He's trying to be cheeky and trying to, be a little fancy and stuff like that. It didn't happen. But
Mr. Fancy Pants.
but so I mean, I put some things in the ticker to kind of bounce around, but we were talking about depth, and you think about it, like the players that have left this team, and who have they replaced them with? There's I'm trying to find my one uh
Yeah, I hear you, Peter. It's just we've lost a lot of players. Gramaski gone.
right.
Who
So,
else?
well, from the more recent times, Kromaski and Redondo, neither of which have been replaced. If you think about it, and I mean, I guess you could say DePaul came in, but he's not replacing either of those guys, right? He's supposed to be in addition to a ice cream cherry on the top type of player, right?
Right,
But
right.
but we lost Kromaski, we lost Redondo, and then if you just, I mean, look at other players that we've lost this season too. They may have David Martinez, they didn't replace him. I mean, did they? I guess Lujan, but Lujan was already here, right? Wasn't he?
Right.
So we let Martinez go. They let Drake Callender
He,
go.
he's one I would have wanted to keep just
I
because he started
agree.
getting better towards the end, and he's better than Lujan,
I
better than
agree.
Aviles. So just disappointing right there.
Yeah, we let go of Leo Alfonso. Again, he's not your star player, but with Suarez out, I wouldn't mind having him because the
Right.
other guys that you brought in to kind of, Obando. We've seen Obando like 5 minutes this season. I mean, more than that. I mean, he played a decent amount in I think that was a Dallas game. But we've barely seen him because he's always hurt. Baltazar
Yeah.
Rodriguez, they brought him in. Seems like Baltazar or Obando. They're both trying to fight for who wants to be the new Mr. Glass.
Yeah. They're just not. Yeah. And Baltazar, I mean, he had a hell of a goal a couple games back,
Yeah,
but
but he
other
can't stay
than that,
healthy.
yeah, you can't stay healthy. Obando, same thing. What a disappointment. The new, they were talking about him as the new forward that Ecuador needs, but he hasn't. He scored one goal, but that was like ancient history. I don't even remember anymore
Right.
how long ago it was.
Right. So, I mean, they in the players that they've brought in, they brought in Allende. I think we can all agree, not a good pick. I mean, okay, but he came into the team looking really good. So, is he a bad player, or did we screw him up with our coaching and our structure and all that kind of stuff? Did we break Allende because he started pretty good? Like I remember he had a couple of really nice goals. He looked real promising his first few games, and then it's been downhill ever since. I mean,
Well,
we
so did
all, you
yeah.
know,
I agree. We got to. He's a disappointment. Of course, he's been playing as our 9, I guess you could say, in the absence of Suarez. But yeah, he hasn't been the player that we thought he was, and he just hasn't been as secure. He started scoring, and it seemed like he was our guy, but it's not happening anymore. Segovia, another one that has good days and bad
I like.
days.
Hang on, I like Segovia. I think he's got more good than bad. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs is saying, how did Abondo even get injured? He barely plays. I think he sneezed.
I think yeah, he sneezed,
He
and
sneezed and he tore his Achilles or something.
something like that happened. Yeah, one of those fluke things that that makes a guy go down and not come back for almost the rest of the season.
Yeah. You ever have one of those real bad sneezes where you like pull out your back? I think that's what it
Yeah,
was. I think that's
yeah.
what it was. And with Allende, you could complain about Allende right now, but you have no choice but to kind of play him as your 9. Or, because Suarez is out, because Abondo's hurt, you could maybe think of putting Rodriguez in there or something like that, but he's hurt. I mean, who do you have? They brought up a kid from the academy, Pinter, who I don't know if he's any good or not, but he got on the field, which was cool for him. But as far as players being let go, I forgot about these guys because by the time I made my spreadsheet, they were already gone. But Chris Arjun brings up we also lost Gressel and Taylor. And Taylor's not, I don't know. I was watching the Austin game and he wasn't playing. I don't know if he's hurt or if he's not in this. No, I think he was on the bench. I think he's not even on the starting lineup with Austin, which is crazy.
Well, yeah, I thought he was going to be a starter for sure.
I thought
and he's
so
not
too.
Starting, man, and he's such a good player. What a waste of him on the bench.
We were a better team last year. Before they decided to make all these changes, we were a better team.
Yes. And one of the things that I also think is hurting us is that, in our hopes for Messi to stay, we're sacrificing too much by giving him everything that he wants.
Okay, so let's talk about who's to blame. Because like Isaiah says, everyone on the pitch, players and coaching staff. I think it's more than that too. But who's to blame? Is it the players? Is it the coach? There's so many different directions you could go in, but I think it all has to go to the top. And that is Jorge Mas. You have to start and you have to blame the guy that's writing the checks because he's allowing, and you got to blame Messi. I'm sorry, you Messi fanatics, but Messi is to blame as well. And we're assuming that they're allowing him to make these calls, right? We're all assuming that because it seems pretty obvious that he's bringing in his buddy Mascherano. He's bringing in his buddy DePaul. Like, so all these people are being brought in to make Messi happy. Therefore, you have to blame him as well. So, and that's not a popular opinion probably, but it's oh yeah, Mr. Krabs.
There go our subscribers. Goodbye, subscribers.
We might lose a few, but look, if you give a player too much power, that's not a good thing. And again, that goes to the top with Jorge Mas. I saw somebody on somewhere on Twitter or Facebook, I forgot where it was, saying they want to get rid of Jorge Mas. Now, I wouldn't go that far. The man has done been willing to open up that checkbook. If it wasn't for him, we wouldn't even have a team. Okay.
Yes.
So
we wouldn't have Messi, which is probably one of the greatest things that's happened to Major League Soccer.
But I do wonder, because I've never worked for the man, I do wonder what's it like working for him, because that front office has been in turmoil from day one. People come and go all the time. It can't seem to keep a lot of people up in that front office, soccer operations front office, for very long. So is he difficult to work for? Is he a little bit of Jerry Jones, like the Dallas Cowboys, trying to meddle with things he just doesn't know enough about? Like, he doesn't know enough about soccer to really pull the strings. I don't know. I mean, that's all we have to guess on all that stuff. But if he's the one writing the checks, and people like Chris Henderson don't want to stick around. I mean, he moves on to Atlanta now. He's not having any success over in Atlanta right now. So can we get him back?
Yeah, I'd get him back because I think we were better with him.
They used him to get us through the cheating scandal, right? Because he knew MLS. He knew how to get us through that. We could use him again for sure. Because what I've written to you guys in our chat every once in a while is, I feel like we're a collection of players. We're not necessarily a team. And that goes back to that Ray Hudson commentary that he knew how to put a team together. They may not have been individually the best players, but collectively they were amazing. We are not. We're a collection of random players. It's like, oh, this guy will make Messi happy. Has DePaul made us better?
No, I don't think he has.
I mean, I'm not going to sit there and bash him and say he's a bad player. Could be coaching. Could be the fact that he's not playing in his correct position. I don't know where it is. But it all goes to Mas, but and Messi. But of course, Mascherano's got to take a lot of blame. All that kind of stuff, Ed.
Yeah, it's coaching is another thing. A lot of people are calling for his head already.
Yep.
He's just dude, like Aviles. As soon as he got that yellow card, he should have been thinking about the second half taking him out or something. That guy's gonna get a red card. You play him. He's gonna get a yellow card. So that's the red card should have been avoided. They should have taken him out.
I was surprised that Aviles was even in the game. I mean, I thought it would have been Lujan because Lujan seems to be Mascherano's favorite.
Right. Same thing. I thought the same thing.
Sports Shorts chiming in saying, I think Mascherano experiment should be over soon. So, can we pull the plug before the end of the season? Look, we're on that verge. Now, I don't think it's going to get to this point, but we're on the verge of not making the playoffs. Again, that's probably a little bit of an overreaction because I think we'll make the playoffs. Fine. We have games in hand. I don't think we're 100% broken, just partially. They should be able to beat DC United. There's some easier games coming up. Seattle's going to be a tough one, clearly, but I think we'll definitely make the playoffs. But will we be out in the first round just like we were last year?
Could be. Unfortunately, that's where high pressure games are difficult. Look, we lost the Leagues Cup final. I think everybody thought we should have done better, and we didn't.
Francisco chiming in saying management is walking on glass trying to have Messi happy. And of course, we want Messi to re-sign. He hasn't officially re-signed. I mean, I'm under the thought that he's probably has re-signed. It's just not made public. But until it's made public, it's not a done deal, right? So yeah, they want to make him happy because, and I've asked this question several times in the past. Are we a team that wants to win championships, or are we a t-shirt company? Because we sometimes feel more of like a t-shirt company, and that Messi thing is a money train that nobody wants to lose. Nobody wants to lose. So yeah, they're going to do anything they can to make him happy, including all the wrong decisions. Isaiah says, should we question Messi? He should just stick to his role as a player. Stop making decisions which are not your strong suit. Francisco said that Mascherano, Messi, and others kidnapped the Argentina national team when Sampaoli was coach during the 2022 World Cup, and it resulted in a big mess.
It got messy.
It got messy. It sure did. Sports Shorts saying, we would make Messi happy by winning. I understand he has his people, but we brought him for money and winning MLS Cup. I agree, but he obviously, I don't know. How much power are they giving him? Is it literally just, hey, do you have an idea? And then we just go with it? Or is he really pushing his ideas? I don't know. I mean, we're not in those rooms. We don't know. But I think the Mascherano experiment, I mean, I want him out now. But of course, that's giving up the season, right? You can't, you're probably not going to go far in the playoffs. But if we don't win MLS Cup, he can't come back. He can't.
Right. That's the only thing we have left We need to win it all. If we don't win it, he's not coming back. I don't think so. I've heard some people that said they heard it from Jorge Mas that he's not coming back. I don't know
Yeah,
if
that was
that's
something
true.
I saw on Twitter that somebody mentioned that.
Somebody had put that, and I was like, really? Because I could believe that happening. You know, we've seen Jorge Mas. He's a person that will speak his mind if he has to. So he's not bashful when it comes to that. So,
but
it could be something he said.
Look at the teams that are beating us right now. They're teams that, yeah, they've got some international players and stuff. Look at Seattle, for example. They've got some international players clearly, but they are an MLS team. They've got people that are playing on that team that are MLS journeymen, right? And it's working. There's something to that. It's not just, hey, go find an Argentinian and put him on the team and put him in pink and we're going to win. It just doesn't work. And that's where you got to go to, the people in the sporting director side of things, because since we talked about Chris Henderson's gone, who's pulling those strings? And that's Guillermo Hoyos, who was promoted from the academy to sporting director. Academy director to sporting director. I mean, his claim to fame is being Messi's buddy. What does he know about MLS?
I don't know. Maybe he learned from somebody. But the thing is,
obviously he didn't learn, Ed. Look at
like,
the team.
No.
Look at the team. He didn't learn nothing.
Well, we definitely don't have depth right now, and that's really hurting us. I think there's no way of bringing anybody else. I think
we're closed.
It's over.
The shop is closed. You can't. I forgot the exact date, but I posted that to you and let me see. I have that somewhere with you and Julio. When the actual roster freeze time was.
There's no way out of it, Peter.
Roster freeze date, Friday, September 12th. You can't make any more changes. We're done.
That's it. Oof. What do you think are the chances of us getting to the final, Peter? Just to the final, not winning it, to the final.
Well, let's see what somebody else has to say about that first. We have a super chat. Caesar jumping in with a $5 super chat. We won't make it to the MLS final. At least Atlanta, you won't knock us out in the first round. Oh, at least Atlanta won't knock us out in the first round. Is there any coach that can lead this team? Tata? Okay. So there was an article in The Athletic about Tata Martino. Where are Fire Tata people? Where are they at? Where's Mike V? We got people that come and go in our chat, so I haven't seen Mike V in a while. But he was always very, very adamant about firing Tata. Would you take him back? Like Wycia says,
I would.
He's available. So in this article, I don't know how many of you read the article. I did. I sent it to Ed. I'm not sure if you actually read it or not. It's long.
I read it. Of course,
everything in The Athletic is long. They don't do short. But I always said that Tata was forced out and that he did not leave for personal reasons. Well, he's sticking to the personal reasons thing. So maybe there really was something to that. I felt like he was pushed out. In the article, he says it was personal reasons. He's still not divulging as to what those personal reasons were, but he said he called Messi and told him, and he had to go back to his town in Argentina. And so it was some sort of something, but he's ready now. And his weakness is MLS. He loves the MLS. He loves the funky rules. For some reason, the weirdness of MLS intrigues him. And he would love to come back.
He likes the States. And
He
I
didn't
think he
say
likes
anything
to
about
be back in Miami.
he didn't say about coming to Miami, but like, look, if he left on good terms, we still got Messi. We still got the same people for the most part and some other
Yeah.
randos that we don't like. But, I know a lot of people did not like him, but I
They
was
didn't
always
think
a
he
fan.
was aggressive enough for the team that we had. And I agree with you. We had a better team last year than we do this year. So we definitely had more depth. But even if he comes back now, which is late, I think he'll be forgiven if we don't make it to the final.
If he came back this season, he's got a freebie for the rest of this year. I mean, nobody would judge him, or at least not rightly. Um, Nobody would judge him for that. Soccer Daddy FC says Tata was never a solution. I don't know. I think he's a good coach. Um, there is no coach that we're going to agree with every decision they make. There's constantly, you're gonna question the substitution or the starting lineup or what have you. That's always going to happen. But I don't know. We were definitely better with him. He was not afraid to sit the stars. He had somewhat of a backbone. At least it seemed like it.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, I don't think they would go backwards. I don't think they would go back with Tata, but it does kind of interest me. It intrigues me. It says, yeah, I would definitely, I would go down that path. Oh yeah, Mr. Krabs is saying Xavi is out of a coaching job. Would you bring him into MLS? Never coached in MLS, but obviously world class.
He's world class. I'd take a shot at him. He's got some experience, more than Mascherano. So I think Messi would probably be okay with it.
Wycia brings up almost like a point. Perhaps we don't need a coach. We have the Barca boys. Hear me out. You could have Messi as player coach.
Whoa,
Hasn't been
intriguing.
done in a long time.
Not at least in MLS.
I mean, we told the stories, and we even asked the question to Thomas Rongan here on this channel one time, because I remember watching him be a player coach, and I remember watching him sub himself in because he was so frustrated with what he saw in the field. And I remember I asked him, I said, "Is my memory correct? Did I see this?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, many times." But player coach, okay, that's not going to happen, right? Player coach, probably not going to happen.
Tough for that to happen. But intriguing, a cool idea though. That's
okay,
really cool.
okay. I got another one. I got another idea, Ed. Just came to me. I haven't really workshopped this idea. It may be a terrible idea, but I'm just workshopping here. So it's probably not happening this year. Okay, we're probably stuck with Mascherano. It's gonna succeed or it's gonna fail, right? And it seems like the majority of the people in this chat and the majority of the people out there feel like it's gonna fail. We're done, right? That's the world is over. We got two players that are buddies with Messi that probably won't be back next year. You could have a choice of promoting. They got to get their coaching licenses real quick, but hey, money does wonders. You could get Busquets maybe as a coach. I don't know if he'd be any good, but he'd make Messi happy, and or Suarez. We got Suarez as a coach would be exciting. It'd be crazy. I don't know if he'd be
He's
any
great.
good.
A lot of people are saying he would probably be a great commentator. He's very good. He speaks English. So in Spanish, he's really articulated. So it would be interesting. He would definitely create controversy in
Oh yeah.
Miami.
How
We're
many
just
how
like
many times would he get red carded as a coach?
woo,
As a
he's
coach.
gonna be. He's that's gonna happen, man. And wow, I mean, somebody was also saying Mourinho, I think, is available. Is he or is he not? I heard.
I think he is. Yeah, it was mentioned in the chat. Yeah, One World One Goal saying Mourinho too, but we'd be better off with a former MLS coach. And I've always kind of been a big fan of having a coach with MLS experience. But nowadays it seems like it's less important than it used to be. I think where the MLS experience is more important, that sporting director,
I agree.
that
We need.
chief of soccer operations, because we've got a guy, Alberto Morero, who is the chief of soccer operations, right? He's there. He's had he's been around in I think Madrid. He's been around some teams in Mexico. He's had some success, but he doesn't know a darn thing about MLS. So between those two guys, between Morero and Hoyos, neither of them have any MLS experience. You could keep one of them if that makes Messi happy, but get rid of the guy that's really making the decisions and bring in somebody like a Chris Henderson. Okay, Chris is probably not coming back, right? That's not happening. But okay,
Yeah.
everything is a little bit on a delay. So now some of my comments are coming back. Keep in mind the Suarez thing was a bit of a joke. Suarez will spit on opponent coach. Probably. Eric Thomas, our buddy from New Jersey, said Suarez is a coach. Peter, you okay? It'd be exciting. Even if you don't win any championships, it would be exciting.
Hey,
That's
I
all
pick
I'm
Ray
saying.
Hudson. Yeah.
Yeah. Ray was a very fiery coach on the sidelines. So why not have another fiery coach on the sidelines? Again, no clue of here's the thing: is Mascherano proved that just because you're a world-class player does not mean you're going to make a good coach.
It's agreed.
So I don't know. I'm assuming. Look, I don't think we're winning MLS Cup this year. Now I've gotten to that point where it's starting to sink in that. Look, at the end of the day, if Messi puts his team on his back, it's possible, right? Anything's possible when you have Messi on the field, but he's gonna have. Some of these other teams, like I've said before, have shown you how to beat us. Shut him down, and we got no answers. You've got when sometimes when Messi's not involved in the game, the other team did a good job, but then you need someone else that can step up, and there is nobody else that can step up.
Yeah, there's nobody right now, especially with Suarez being out. He's still got 4 more games, or how many? I think they gave him 3 games.
3.
So he's got
he'll
2
be
more
out.
games.
He'll be out the Tuesday night game against Seattle, and he'll be out against the DC United game. DC United, who you would think would be an easy game because they're bad this year. I think the last time we played them this year, we tied them 1-1. Pretty sure. And then this weekend, they just tied Orlando City 1-1. And I was seeing some Orlando City people thinking like the sky's falling. And they've had a good year. Orlando City has been very good this year. And so it just shows that anybody can beat anybody or have a good game against anybody any night. So we should be able to beat DC, but you never know.
Yeah, and from what I was seeing, I was doing the math. We could still fall in first place because all the other teams either tied or didn't win. So we could still, if we win all the rest of the games, be in first place if we win every single game, of course.
Well, let me see. Let's move. This is the. Oops. Where am I going?
Where are you going, Peter?
Yeah, I'm trying. This is the supporter shield. So as far as winning the supporter shield, it's not looking good. We're not even in the top 10, Ed. So,
wow.
I'm not saying it's impossible, but where are we? We're in the 11. 46 points. And so we're 11 points out. So it's not
12
looking
points
good.
Possible. Yeah.
I guess
4 games. 4 games under. Yeah, so we got 12 points. We could still come in first place.
Did you see Philly got cooked 7-0 as CS is saying against Vancouver?
That's crazy. And Vancouver back? They had a little slump there.
They were, but now they've got their German dude. And all of a sudden it's not so bad. But as far as like our standings, as far as the East, on the East, you know, we're in 8th. So, but like you said, we've got 26 games, and then the people in the top 4 are on 30. So we've got 4 games on those people. But these are the games that we had to win. That's why this kind of game like Charlotte was so important, because they're ahead of us. That would be huge had we beat Charlotte, you know. And now we're playing Seattle. How's Seattle doing this season? Oh, they're in 4th, and they beat us just a few days ago.
Tough. That's gonna be a tough game.
Look at Sports Shorts. This is cute. Peter and Uncle Ed for coach and assistant coach.
Hey, let's do it.
It'd be terrible.
We'd be fired quick.
I can easily sit here and say how things are not working. I don't know the solution. I'm not trying to sit here and tell you I could fix the club. I don't necessarily know the solution, but I do feel like there are some key pieces where I might have an idea that, hey, it's good to have somebody here that knows MLS. That's a good idea, but I'm not coaching.
Yeah, I don't think we've got the skills,
no,
per se, to make it happen.
Yeah.
There's definitely people more talented out there that might be able to turn this team around.
That's it. Julio is saying no one else steps up because we are Messi dependent. Exactly. We are too Messi dependent in so many different areas. That's what we've been kind of talking about tonight is we're Messi dependent in the front office. We're Messi dependent on the players, the coach, the tactics. And that's where I really, I think even though we could talk about, hey, somebody in the chat said, I don't know if Tata could do much with this team because of who the team is, right? I think we'd still be improved because tactics are bad, right? Taking out Bright in this last game and putting in a defender. What's that about?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say that Bright, it wasn't one of his best games.
It wasn't,
but he's still.
But would you bring in a defender for him, or would you try to find somebody that's a little more attacking? No, I don't. I have to look at the bench again. Did we have anybody attacking? I mean, I guess you could have brought in Santiago Morales. He's a player that hasn't gotten a lot of time.
Yeah, give him a chance.
At that point, bring in the kids. Yeah. Soccer Daddy FC says, player going out, new players coming. Is this Mascherano rebuilding? If it is, Mascherano deserves more time. I don't know how much that is. I don't know how much Mascherano has, how much say he has in the players that he has to cook with, right? I don't know. Does he have a lot of power in the ingredients that he's using? I'm not sure. Maybe he does. I'm sure he's got a voice in the whole thing. But look, I want them to clean house next year. I'm pretty sure we're not winning MLS Cup. Okay, so next year, Mascherano's out, Hoyos is out, the other guy's out. Let's bring in some people that's got some MLS experience. Bring in whatever coach you want. As long as they're a proven winner. I mean, there was that guy that I love the idea of that guy. I forgot his name right now, but there was that coach from Club America that was rumored. I mean, to me, he seems like he's got the stats, right? He may not have coached in MLS, but he knows MLS because he's played against MLS. He knows the region, right? So he's the kind of guy that I would love, I think, on paper. Nabil Jananya says, this is Messi building. This is the Messi building. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Mr. Krabs says, at least we can all agree we are not winning MLS Cup this year. I mean, there's always hope. I'm going to go to this state. There are some people I've seen comment that screw this team. I saw a guy saying he bought tickets to an away game and he is now considering not going. Go. Enjoy yourself. Support this team. Have fun. I'm not giving up on this team. I was out bike riding today wearing my pink jersey, just going around town. I'm still a proud Inter Miami fan, but
Oh yeah, till you die. We were here since before it was even born.
right. But we need some improvement. We need some improvement. So, One World, One Goal likes my idea of that Club America guy. He sounds like a good compromise between MLS guy or a Euro guy. Yeah, bringing over somebody from Liga MX. I mean, I think that's a good idea, in that they know this region of the world. So, I think that'd be great. Anyways, I think we've kind of beat this dead cat as much as we can. Tuesday night's gonna be a fun night. We will definitely have a game day vlog up. Hopefully the very next day. I will be at that game. I don't think Ed's going to be able to make it because it's a weekday. But I will definitely be at that Tuesday night game. And then Saturday we have DC United. So that game, I don't know. I was feeling like we could beat Seattle because it's a home game and we got revenge on our hearts. I'm hopeful of that, but now I've got a little more doubt. But it's at the end of the day, it's going to be an exciting night at Chase Stadium. And then Saturday, I think it's Saturday, we have DC United. So, 2 games in 1 week, short turn. So should be a lot of fun. I think we should be able to beat DC United, but you never know. We'll see.
Crossing our fingers that we could do it, Peter. But yeah, I'm hoping for the best, man. We need to get some points so we can at least, be up there in the playoffs. Hopefully have a home game or two.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
All right. And so what else is coming up on this channel is I have another video. I originally was going to put it up on Wednesday, but if there's a game on Tuesday, that means we'll have a game day vlog on Wednesday. So maybe I'll put it up tomorrow. I don't know. We have the Tri-Rail video to come up. So we have if you haven't seen it already, we have our Brightline video where I go and ride Brightline. This one is me riding Tri-Rail, and it's easier, but it is definitely interesting and funny. Maybe, I think some people were surprised by the fact that I've never really ridden public transportation. I just haven't. Maybe it's because I've always lived in the suburbs. I'm not anywhere near the train stations. So, but we'll have that.
In the burbs.
Yeah, I've never lived downtown anywhere, so I've never lived anywhere near the Metro Rail, any kind of railway. So I've never taken any of them. So we will have that video up. I think I should probably just put it up tomorrow. But
all right,
Ed. Is there anything else coming up that you could think of?
Nothing right now. I'm not sure if we're gonna have a Spanish show either, so we'll let you guys know. Check out our social media.
All right, everybody. Thanks so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we will see you next time.